As we are coming to the end of this section on the birth of Jesus, just wanted to give you a summary thoughts. Hopefully I won't take too long to do this, but might be a good idea for you to copy these things down in your notes. You're not free of taking notes, even on this online day. Ha, you're so happy, I know. All right, so how many miracles did the text point out that are in the birth of Jesus and accompanying surrounding his birth? It tells you that there are 17 miracles accompanying his birth. And one of the things that this story does for us is to show that God is completely in control, and we call that he is sovereign. He is reigning as a king over all, and everything is under his control. He's orchestrating events. He will fulfill and complete the will that he desires. We see him intervening in Joseph and Mary's life. He is directing them. He's providing for them. He's blessing them. He's giving them strength to walk through things that are hard. I believe they were people of deep faith, that they trusted God and they were obedient to the things that God told them to do, even though they may not have understood. They may have been very confused, as some of you pointed out in your homework questions. But he directed them and he used them. He prevented them from making mistakes, which I kind of think of Joseph as was about to make the biggest mistake of his life, and God stepped in and redirected him, and Joseph responded in faith and obedience. He also provided confirmation that they really were on the right track through many, many people that he spoke to and sent them to Joseph and Mary. And so I just kind of want to wrap up thinking about all the ways that God demonstrates he's in charge and that he is caring for, providing for, and helping Joseph and Mary. And so let's start with John's birth. Can't type and write at the same time. John's birth, we see the miracle and the beginning of the fulfillment of prophecy as John is born to Zachariah and Elizabeth. He is the beginning of this coming of a Messiah. The promised messenger would come, and that would be John the Baptist. I kind of see the next in segment is that Elizabeth befriends Mary, and so Mary is sent to Elizabeth's house, where she has at least one person who believes her. Elizabeth speaks through the Holy Spirit and confirms to Mary that God really is at work giving her the Messiah, and she says through the Holy Spirit that it is the mother of my Lord. And so that has to be an incredible help and encouragement to Mary. The next thing is that she is provided a husband, that Joseph is given a dream so that he does not divorce her. And God provides Mary with a father and a husband to her. He prevented Joseph from making a big mistake that he would have regretted the rest of his life. And so God is protecting Mary and protecting Joseph as well. See that as incredible kindness to Mary. He sends angels to shepherds to allow them to participate. Wrong direction. It's just to allow them to participate in the birth of the Messiah. They are told who Jesus is. They would give that message to Mary and Joseph would be another confirmation. They are directed to come and participate in the birth of Jesus, which is God directly intervening, revealing himself to the shepherds. Many of you said you would have liked to have been the shepherds. I think that would have been pretty cool too, in that question that I gave you. And so God intervenes in the lives of the shepherd, allowing them to interact with the life of Mary and Joseph. It had to be kind of stunning to Mary and Joseph as well. God speaks and directs by sending a star to the wise men. He sovereignly intervenes in their life, allowing them in a far-off country, Gentiles nonetheless, to come and participate in celebrating the birth of the Messiah. They know who it is because they come and worship him. They demonstrate faith and obedience when God intervenes in their life. The gifts from the wise men had to be amazing provision for Joseph and Mary, who were just born. And many think that was the provision that they needed just in time to run to Egypt. Joseph gets multiple angels and direction. He doesn't know what to do. How is he going to take care of this baby? And so God directs Joseph through many dreams when to go to Egypt, when to leave, when to return, where to return. And so Joseph is listening and obedient. He's intervening in sovereignly leading and directing Joseph and allowing all of these prophecies to be fulfilled through Mary, through Joseph, through the wise men, through John's birth. And so we see God orchestrating events that he has foretold. As Jesus is born. Think about Mary and Joseph's obedience. God's in charge. They allow God to be in charge. But would they have chosen this life? Would they have chosen to have Jesus if they'd been given a chance to know everything that would involve? Their lives would have involved much suffering and struggling with people misunderstanding. Their reputation would have been ruined for both of them. They were struggling with poverty, having to move around. Do you think that they would have chosen to do this had they known how difficult it would be? And I would say absolutely, because God is the one who was providing for them, intervening in their lives, giving them strength, preventing mistakes, directing them. What an incredible, amazing opportunity to know God and to be led by him. Faith is never easy. It will involve suffering in so many ways, but God is always present, confirming his will, providing for us to live one day at a time, just as he did with Mary and Joseph. And I think in the midst of their difficulty, they found great joy because God was with them and was working with them. I don't think that they would have refused had they known how hard it would have been, but continue to feel privileged because they were chosen to experience the presence of God and to be the parents of the Messiah. They didn't know how it would end, but they did know that they could trust in God. I just kind of think that's amazing to think about Joseph's and Mary's faith, how they demonstrated faith, how they unquestionably obeyed, even though they didn't understand. Think of examples of how they demonstrated faith all through their lives, all through it. They didn't maybe understand fully who Jesus was, that he was actually God in the flesh, that his purpose was to come deal with their sin, not save them from a bad government, but to deal with their worst enemy. I don't think they understood all that, but finally they would, and I think they would not have ever refused. They have amazing faith. It's an example to me and to us all. Anyways, I just kind of wanted to wrap up the birth of Christ and think about all these miracles, how they show God's in charge and he's directing and leading and providing to accomplish his will.